So I was suggested to me that, well, and doing a little bit of a project, that I should consider videoing it, recording it, and putting it online. So I'm going to do that. Bit about the project. I've got a million projects, a lot. Biggest project at the moment would be me, because I'm a bit of a fat bastard. So I need to do a bit of work on that. And unfortunately, we've been renovating our house, and as a part of that, we don't have any space for a gym. I don't like going to a public gym. I like to work out at home. You know, if I've got to be a fat bastard, I want to grunt it out. So, anywho, we decided to buy a 40-foot shipping container, and that 40-foot container looked a bit worse for wear. It's not a grade A or a single trip. The shipping container was actually fairly used, a fair few dings. Gave it a spray job, and it came up all right. We'll have a look at that now, and I'll show you what it looks like from the outside. So there's the container. Here's all of our shit. We've been renovating this house since the day we moved in, and it hasn't been non-stop. And at the moment, we've been here 2 years, so it's a slow process. We've got the whole back of this house still stripped out and yet to go. There's another bathroom and shower to go in there. It's an old house, and all of this, not all of it, but a fair bit of it should disappear when the container's finished. So this container is going to be my gym, or as I like to call it, my emporium of body perfection. Maybe, if I can actually lose weight and make something of it. So it's been given a respray. It was very hard getting it in here. I needed to use a crane and then my truck, and had it on wheels, these ones that go on the containers. Worked a treat. Then I cut this door in. So the glass sliding door cost me $200. It was a little bit wonky, wasn't square, but it's alright. I got it reasonably square. I welded in a frame. That's only stitch welds all the way around. Put that frame in there, the door frame, and then got this Sikaflex, and the Sikaflex hopefully sealed it up. Hasn't leaked since I've done that. So then came in here, and now this is going to be an office down this end. Behind the office is going to be additional garaging for my motorcycles. More projects. So I've done all the framing, and the framing's not ideal. I'm not a builder. It's typical rough shit done by a redneck, but it'll do the job. So this is just 90x45 pine. It's not great, but it'll do the job. Turns up pre-twisted, which is fantastic. That's what you want. Then I've installed a little electrical box, which is going to run our RCDs. And wouldn't you know it, I've done that upside down. So I'll fix that. And then run a bit of power. So I've got two different types of power cord here. This is actual to run power to a GPO to an outlet, and this is for lighting. So I'm going to run lighting all down the centre, and then over to this side I've got a bracket up there to run a TV which can swivel, and then I've got the power supply in, accent lighting, and then just general lighting. The general lighting will be all the way back through the centre, and I still need to run one more, so I'm really glad I just videoed this, because I want to run power to the garage. I need to run more cable. Wouldn't you know it? Awesome. And then we've started just now using these earth wool insulation. I'll draw that back a bit, see if it makes a bit more sense. So, okay. So here's where it gets a little interesting. If I was going to do this again, pro tip, I'd set the spacing of these studs, right, to be the correct width for the insulation bats, because I've got some that are too small and some that are too big, so you've got to cut, you've got to add, you've got to make them fit. It's a pain in the ass. anyway, it's a long process, but I'll get there. I haven't worked out how I'm going to do the roof yet, because the roof is not going to be, well, they're going to be too wide for every single one to hold the bats in place. I think it'll either be glue, or I'll run some sort of plastic PVC strapping and staple it up. I don't know. Problem solving on the go. Like I said, I'm not a builder, but redneck economics, and this is what we come up with. So hopefully when the product's finished, it'll be this section down here will be the gym, and that'll just, I'll put some workout equipment in this end, and yeah, obviously it's going to be a bit warm, so I've got a solution to that as well. So I've got this split system air conditioner. It's LG. Apparently it had a slightly noisy fan in the outdoor unit. The indoor unit was fine. It's only the outdoor unit. So I'm going to be able to replace potentially a fan in that. But basically it was all working. So I've got that for a carton of beer. I'm pretty happy with that. So that'll go in the container and that'll keep things cool. As far as the desk goes, I'm going to run, you'll see power outlets down below. They're going to be below the desk level, and I'm going to set the desk level at 800 millimeters. Desk won't have any legs or nothing like that. It's just going to be some brackets that'll bolt to the wall. The idea that'll run probably 3 computer screens, and we'll be able to use this as a bit of an office. We do a little bit of work from home, when we have to, after hours. So it'd be good to have someone actually set the computer up and use it as a proper office, set our printer up, set our shredder up, have a desk, just to keep inside tidy. And a big part of that is the fact that what we used to use as an office is our youngest child's bedroom, and if he goes to bed and you need to do a bit of work, you go in there, the computer's shining, he gets up in the cot and goos and gars, and before you know it, you've got to play with him, you can't get any work done. So this should fix that to a degree. And we're also going to put a sofa bed in over here, and that sofa bed will be some spare guest accommodation, because the house is only 3 bedrooms, it's very small, it's very pokey. We'll put a sofa bed there of some sort. We won't have much space to work with, because I think the overall width of this container, now that I've got the framing in here, is only 2.2 metres, 2200 mil, and I'll probably lose another 14 mils off that once I put the lining up. So we'll see. And then, yeah, I'm hoping for some, hopefully it turns out half decent. We've got a rural property, which we're going to build a home at. And the idea of building this is we don't actually have to waste our money, because if we're happy with it, we can get it craned out of here, put on a truck and taken up to a farm. And when we move up there, this is already there. We'll already have the gym, the office, and a little bit of shedding. So at the moment, there's nothing up there. So it'll be good. Nice to be organised, and I don't like to be disorganised. I can't wait to get our back patio back so we can actually put our table there and have a barbecue and sit outside when the weather's good. Anyway, stand by. We'll try and get some more photos and videos to put up, just out of interest. Alrighty, so I'll just run another one, nice and easy. That one can just dangle over the back for a bit until I'm ready to put some lights in the garage. I know it seems probably stupid to turn the lights for the garage on from in here, but I figure it's just as easy. It'll save me time anyway, having to wire in new switches and run new power. Got all the walls done with the sound insulation. So that was thermal and sound. I've just got to do the ceiling now. Run my wiring for my downlights, and I'm going to have the garage light from in here, power supply, some accent lights. It's going to be a swivel TV point and power outlet. Another day, another beautiful renovation. So we're doing the roof insulation now. So I'm going to do this in 1200mm sections. Now after each 1200mm, we're going to cut the ply to suit, so that I can put the 90mm hole in to run a downlight, and hopefully that'll keep it manageable all the way back so that I don't mess it up. The sound in here is already better from the insulation. It sounds a lot better. I think it's a lot quieter, and hopefully it'll control the temperature a lot as well. But we'll wait and see how that goes in the middle of summer. Okay, we just put our first bit of ply up, and it went very smooth. So what I should have done was mark out where each of the rafters are, because as you can see, I've put multiple screws in multiple places that don't go in anything. As I said, not a builder. Not a builder's arsehole at this point. But got it to stick up. So now we're going to do another 1200 mils of insulation, and then we'll put another piece up and try and make it plumb. Stand by.
More ply?
More ply. So as far as progress goes, it's getting bigger than Ben-O. I borrowed this lift thing from a mate just to save me shoulders, and it's amazing. It's game changer. I don't know what it costs, but whatever it costs, it's worth it. Problem number 7004 is so some of these sheets don't obviously line up, so they get a big overlap, even though I've tried to keep the spacing tight. If the sheet comes in too close to the gap, like in the middle of the gap, you get the sheet curving up or curving down depending on what the natural curve is doing. So what I've had to do is I've screwed these blocks in, and they're gonna, as the sheet overlaps, I'll be able to screw into those and keep the sheet plumb-ish. Look, let's face it, this isn't going to be a job of perfection. It's my job, but for me, it's not bad. For me, it's pretty good, I suppose. But yeah, I think if I was planning this job again, I'd look at the sheets of ply that I'm going to use, and then I'd space my rafters, joints, whatever you want to call them. I'd space them accordingly. So at a 1200 sheet, I'd make sure I'm getting some sort of a 600 spacing. Actually, that's probably a bit far, one middle, outer, but that way you can overlap half and half on a joist, on a rafter, whatever they're called, so that the sheet meets half of this side, and then the new sheet is half the other side, so I can screw it up, and then it ends up plumb, because these other ones, they haven't ended up too bad. They meet quite plumb. They're not perfect, but they're as good as I was going to get, and they're done by hand. So I'm itchy, very itchy. I'm tired, I'm sore. So glad I took this project on. Who needs a gym when you can do this? Anyway, I'll keep on with the struggle and hopefully get maybe another 2 more sheets up for this afternoon and call it quits, and I'll come back in the morning and try and do the rest. It's 1, 2, 3, that'll be 4, so 5 sheets. I don't know, maybe 3 more. See how we go. I've just got stuff in my eye. Yeah, this is messy. A messy job and an itchy job. Insulation needs to really be sealed in. I don't have vapor barrier, and I know that's probably a big faux pas, probably a bad mistake, but I'm an hour from the shop to go get it, and I wanted to get the sealing done, so I might go back to the shop tonight or tomorrow pick up a roll of vapor barrier. So 2-hour trip, and then I'll do the walls in it. One day I might want to bring the ceiling down again, and who am I kidding? I'm not doing that. That's just crazy talk. The ceiling goes without. Righto. Another week, another weekend, another start of finishing off the container. Sorry about the lighting, I'm not a pro. Obviously that's shit. If I shine it that way, it goes a bit eggy going. So I've got this piece here, which I've discovered if you put it up and butt it up to the last piece, this is where I left it last week, it's actually crooked. So either the edges of the ply aren't plumb, or I've put them up initially out of plumb, which either one wouldn't surprise me. So I'm going to trim, say, a straight line of 30mm from that end across to that end, which will hopefully give me the right angle to plumb it up. And if it doesn't, at least it'll get it semi-plumb. Oh, I can't wait to get this thing finished. I think it'll be, it's dragging on. Okay, let's get to work. Okay, yet another problem. So, went through, we've done all the ceiling sheets. Now, this one's pushed up pretty hard, and you can see there's a fairly decent gap there, okay? So, when it's not pushed, it actually sits flush. When you come to this sheet here, I've pulled that down, because with no pressure applied, it was hanging down a little bit, and there was a gap. We are planning to run, like, moulding, timber moulding from the hardware, which will keep each gap, like, hopefully not hidden, but obviously cover the gap itself and join it and keep it tidy. I am going to have to do the same on the walls, because each of the walls is going to have multiple joins in line with each sheet of ply on the roof. So, because the roof had this bit of a problem with hanging down, I'm going to go back through and pull a couple of sheets back down. This contraption is a lifesaver. It's with my shoulder, I wouldn't have even thought about doing this again. If I didn't have this, I would have left it up there and said, we're going to live with it. So, I'll pull each of these down. I'm going to add more noggins up in the rafters, and then that'll give me more areas to screw and secure it. Hopefully it secures flush so they all join up. Okay, so now we've lifted these sheets back down. I'll cut some more of these noggins and put them into this bay here, whatever the hell that gap's called. I'll probably run 3, and that should make them nicely butt up together. It takes a bit longer, but at least I won't look at it all the time and have the shits because it looks like crap. Okay, so bit of an update. All of this has since been removed and reinstalled, and the reason for that is I didn't plan the framing out very well. Clearly not a builder, didn't know. So there are 2 things it turns out I didn't plan for. A was I didn't plan for the size of the bats, so I've had to cut the bats and make them fit. B, I didn't plan for the size of the ply. So the ply had joins where there's no studs, and if you have a look at the top, where they're going to have the strip meeting at the top, there's somewhere for it to screw at the top, there's nowhere for it to screw at the bottom. So, I'm doing 2 things. First of all, I'm going through the entire build, and about 500mm up from the floor, I'm putting more noggins, or butts. And then, 190 from the top, I'll put another noggin, all the way through. And then that's how I've done these ones, which has made them butt up a lot nicer. So that way when we run the moulding, it should fit a lot tidier and hopefully hide all my little indiscretions. It's turned out to be a lot longer build. obviously, because I've made so many mistakes. But that's okay. That's what I'm here to do. Live and learn. I'd rather make mistakes on this than when I do the house. So we'll continue on.
Hey, buddy. Oh, this Mum.
Oh, how did I know? Why does this feel expensive? Yeah, okay. Mistake, I don't know what we're up to, 600 odd. So, I thought I was pretty savvy starting the dip rock or the ply, from down this end and working back towards the electrical box down here. So that way I know there's going to be a half sheet. Well, could be wrong, but the way I've measured it, should be about half a sheet. So one of the things I did when I went along was, because I've got to drill these holes, okay, for the lights, the down lights, I wanted to know where to drill them. So I put these marks on the frame. One there, and if you have a look up here, in behind, there's another one, just there. Of course, I didn't think about that for all these other sheets. So they're coming down again. And I'll start it over. I might go and crack a beer. It's surely it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm learning so much. So much. So yeah, I thought I was pretty savvy putting the PowerPoint marks down on the floor. So you can see there's a little bit of tape, put a measurement, that's the bottom of the PowerPoint frame. But forgot about the lights, and also forgot about the PowerPoint on this side, but I've marked that in roughly where I think it's going to go. Yeah, we'll work that out when I cross that bridge. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. So might as well laugh. Moving right along. I better get back into it. My wife has just pointed out another problem, because it's what I needed today. So the back wall, for some reason, her suggestion was offset. So then we offset the roof panels. So as all the way along, the join would line up. Now my illustrious wife has just pointed out that I've again stuffed up. So I started the sheets down here like a brainiac, and of course they don't line up. So now we've got to pull them all off anyway and start back at the other end, because that's just how good I am and patient. Bit dark without the lights in here at the minute. Bit rough. Ow.